For watch enthusiasts, a Rolex rabbit hole is always a deep one. One piece leads to another. No matter which style you're looking for, the brands always have something for you. Today, we take a look at my third Rolex, a Datejust with rotating bezel, aka chronograph or Thunderbird. The lineage that evolved throughout its 60-year existence. It is still an oddball and finding their right place in Rolex lineup. The rotating bezel Datejust started with reference 6309 in 1954. The important milestone of the line is reference 6608 and 09 in 1958. It was a watch for Thunderbird Acrobatic Flying Squad, with the emblem of the squad on dial, hence the nickname Thunderbird. Rolex followed up that success with reference 1625, that was produced from 1959 to 1977, perhaps the most familiar when you talk about vintage Datejust chronograph or Thunderbird. In 1978, we saw the birth of 5-digit chronograph 16250 and 16253. The piece we will be looking in more details today. There are a few dial variations with different minute track, but all share the same simplified white or yellow gold bezel design, which differentiates itself from the model before 1625 and the one after 16264. Reference 16264 and 16263 was launched in the late 80s and became a Datejust chronograph looks of the 90s. Rolex paired a rotating bezel with various style, and the result is many interesting combinations of dressy dial and practical rotating bezel. In the early 2000s, Rolex tried to swing for the fence with total redesign of Datejust chronograph 116264, a strange hybrid between fluted bezel and a chronograph. Big change like this rarely happens in Rolex treatment of a model, and suggests that they were serious about putting this model on the map. Besides the bezel, other elements like the red chronograph text matching with red second-hand strengthen these new looks. Unfortunately, these changes were not well accepted, and we saw the end of chronograph Datejust in 2011. My chronograph and third Rolex is 16250 from the early 1980s. It is quite an unusual looks of the chronograph because of the primitive minute track. Normally, a Rolex Datejust minute track will be a railroad style with tiny Roman numerals. Some has 1 or 2 ticks per minute, with or without number markers. The Roman dials come with complete railroad minute track. The railroad that is open on the inside like this is mostly seen in other models from 1950s, notably a Submariner. I kinda like a primitive looks of this style. It gives a strong vintage vibe that goes back farther than the actual period of the 80s. The sunburst style finish seems typical, but when you look closer, visually there's a depth to it. It doesn't look flat like it physically is. The bezel of this 16250 and their relatives is very minimal compared with the one before and after them. It is basically divided into 6 segments of 10 minutes each. The grainy finish is rough and clearly visible. Looking closely, the shiny smooth second hand looks round and three-dimensional. It is this kind of details that always makes Rolex look special. The crystal cracked during one of my nights out. I must have banged it very hard with something, but don't really remember. Overall, it is a robust 36mm Rolex with sportiness touch. I wear it in many occasions when a good watch is expected, but blinginess is not really needed. And it turns out to be the one with most wrist time of 2023. To the general public, it is just a good watch from former generations. To the watch enthusiasts, it is not surprising if many would think that it comes from 1950s or 60s. If Rolex were to resurrect a Datejust chronograph line, they should probably go back to start from reference 16264, which saw the diversification of dial design, pairing with rotating bezel, which gives the line many interesting looks and feel that could become the signature of the new chronograph, among them the Arabic and Roman dial. It is also the time when we see many of these models paired with oyster bracelet, which is suitable for their practical looks, as opposed to Jubilee with fluted bezel. In my opinion, the blue chronograph, which has blue dial pairing with white gold bezel on oyster bracelet, looks phenomenal. We see this successful pairing of blue dial and white gold in Rolex more recent iterations, like the John Mayer Daytona and the Yachtmaster. This could become a new chronograph signature looks for Rolex to go with. This conclusion leads me to my latest acquisition and the fourth Rolex, the blue chronograph 16264. It just pops up during my voice recording for this video, and the price is alright, so I pull the trigger immediately. And it helps confirm that Rolex should start from this model in bringing back the chronograph line. All in all, this chronograph Datejust line represents another potential asset that Rolex can tap into when they need. They are a great company that know how to play a long game. No rushing to pursue all the opportunities at the same time. Let me know if you want to see more of my new chronograph 16264.